Okay, hi. I'm doing a little tutorial about how to make paper beads, and consequently, you can make different jewelry like bracelets and necklaces. And I just made my first project ever on the Cricut. I just bought a Cricut for the first time and just did some paper beads for a necklace. The beads will look something like that. Okay, here you go. They're nice and sturdy, and they all made from paper. So you have, like this is a bag of beads that I made. I made these by hand, but now with the Cricut, it's going to be a lot easier. Here, let me show you. I'm just going to show you a couple of samples so that you can see what you can make from it. See? And you can also use glitter paper. I don't know if you can see the glitter. You can use some glitter paper. Here's another set that I made, different colors. That's a big one, but you can make some smaller size. Let me take it out. It's easier for me to take it out. Some smaller size. This is a 1-inch size, and you can also make loop ones. Here's some greens and silvers. This has a glitter paper, which is really pretty. If you can see. See the glitter? Yeah. Okay. So these are greens. And afterwards, when you make the jewelry, you can make 4 holes in it. You can put eye pins in it. I made this one with 4 and 2 different sides. It's fun that it's 2 different sides. You know, 2 different sides. Anyway, so with the Cricut, it's really cool because I don't have to cut each and every piece of paper that I used to do with a punch before or by hand. I created for this project, for the first one, you can see in design space. So over here, all these here, and this one, the little ones, are the actual color stock, cardstock. You can do with a pattern, or you can do plain colors. And the red one on the top and the green one here are the actual bead material, which is going to be cut from cards, like a very heavy paper. And if you can see, I scored some of them. It's not really scored, it's cut in the center, so you're going to get 2 halves. And this is how you're going to create the bead. If you are going to go to the project itself, each color you will be on a 6 by 3 paper. So what you'll just need are a bunch of 3x6s. So this is really good if you have leftovers. And just put this on. These you can cut on regular 80-gram cardstock. And moving forward, let me see. I'm just trying to see the easy one. Okay. And this one and the red one, you're going to be using heavy paper and you're going to be laying it sideways. So if this is the paper that you'll be using, you'll be laying it sideways because it's a 9 by 12. Okay. All right. I will show you. I will try to write something up, but for now, I just want to show you what I actually do with all those pieces of paper after they cut. So the paper that I'm using for the bead itself is this. It's 185 grams. I'm sorry, 185 pounds. I don't know why I keep saying. You see? I think it's over here. Over here. 400 grams, 185. That's the one that I'm using. It's very sturdy. And I set it to cut on the fine blade. And the setting is 235. Let me see, I wrote it down. I think it's 235, and it has to be cut twice. Once is not enough. Cut it twice. And then you take 9 pieces of paper that you color coordinate. And you can either put it on the mat, the whole 12 by 12, or if you have bigger pieces, but that's the minimum that you're going to need. Is this, and let me show you how I lay it down. On the board, if I'm putting it this way in, it's going to be laid down this way. Let's see, I'll try to make it forward. This way, not that way. This way. Okay. And the whiteboard, the white paper, let me just take a piece out to show you. It's going to be placed this way, not that way. Okay. So this is how you place it, and you cut all the paper. You know, like I said, you can either use pattern paper. No, you can use leftovers from different projects that you have. I like to save them and then do that project. Oh, I missed one, and this one. Or you can just use regular cardstock. No, this one, for example, are neutrals, browns, grays, cream color, and a couple of foil with silver and brown foil. And this is like a brushed silver foil. It's really pretty. Just do color coordinating, and you need nine pieces like that. And then once you cut it, yeah, I already cut one. It'll come up like this. And please put it in a board, in a tray, or on something that you're not going to lose it, because it's a lot of small pieces. Okay, so you're going to have different shapes. Let me turn this around. Okay, you're going to have different sizes, circles with a pattern, and you're going to have different sizes of the hardboard. Okay. Then you're going to have a few that are cut in half like that. Now each bead, the way that we assemble the beads is this. Okay. Each side of the bead will have a circle. And again, you can do one side this way, one side that way. So each bead will have two. Okay. And then you have two full size and four half size, which is actually another two cut in half. Okay. And you're going to glue this to this and this to this. You're going to glue it, and you're going to glue these two together and these two together to get two halves. Okay. And you're going to put them together this way. To create a groove in the center. I don't know if you see. You know what, let me turn this light off. I think it's just too much light. Here we go. This is better, I think. See the groove here? There'll be a groove right in the center. And then these two, the one that you glued it, are going to go on top. And that's the base of the bead. After you glue this together, you're going to create a little height. So you're going to take more coordinating colors. For example, you're going to take this, then you're going to take this, and it doesn't matter, let's just say this. Okay, you'll create bullseyes this way. However, you're going to create height, so each one of them will have an additional white piece of board under it. So actually, it'll be this way. Okay, the bead, and this here, and this on top, and this will go on top of that, and this on top. Let me just take this, we don't need everything right now. Okay, so it creates height also. And let's say like this, and on top this way. Okay, so, and you do this on both sides. Okay, that's basically what we're doing. Another step that we're going to do is paint the edges, because as you can see, if you build it together and it's all white, it's not really pretty. See, you can see the white edges right here. So I like to paint it usually with the color coordinating. For this particular project, I'm going to choose gold. And as you can see on these, I already painted the gold in the rim. See, it has gold around, and it's painted gold this way. How do I do it? I take a marker, and let's take this way, for example. Okay, you see the white here? It has a white, oops, there's a white corner. So I take the marker, and I go with it around the edge. You can use black, you can use silver, you can use different colors. This is the Prismacolor metallic gold. That's the Prismacolor, and it's the broad metallic gold. And as you can see now, it has a gold edge. It's just a very, nice and refined finish. And I do that to all of them, every single piece of paper. I also going to do it to the white pieces. You can use a marker if you like in the same way, or I'm going to show you another way, because if it's white, if it's inside the bead, it doesn't have to be perfect, because you're going to place a pattern paper on top of it. So what you can use instead is liquid leaf. Let me see, liquid leaf. Gold leaf, I might say. Comes in gold, silver, bronze, all kinds of colors. You can use regular acrylic paint if you want to use regular colors. You can also use other markers. And you see, like this one, I gave it a pink. This one, I gave it a coral. And you can mix, like this one. It has green in the center. In the center one over here, it's green, and then it has pink. There are no rules. Like this is a green one. Choose whatever you like, as long as it's nice and finished. Okay, so let's just see how I do the paint around the bead real quick. Just gonna take some paper here. I don't want to get my desk all dirty. Not that it's clean, but you know what I mean. Take a brush, and I can take a whole bunch together, whole bunch of the white ones together that are cut. My dogs are playing. I don't know if you hear the little one, the little dog. She's nudging the big one to play right now. Charlotte, you want to be quiet? Making funny noises. I apologize. Okay. Here, I painted all the edges together in a whole bunch. And now I'm just going to spread them on the wax paper or parchment paper or whatever paper that you use to dry your painted pieces on. And let it dry. Okay. just going to do a few so that I can show you one of the beads, how we put it together. I don't do this on the pattern paper because when I use paint, it tends to run over, you know, like so. Like so. See? And the pattern paper, I want it nice and clean, so I just usually use a marker on those. Okay. I'm going to also paint some of the half. I'm going to try to show you on the smaller bead how I do it. There you go. And these two. You can paint the edges here a little. Okay. Okay, so I take two of the 1-inch size. Where's my glue spreader? I forgot my glue spreader. That's not good. Alright, never mind now. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to use a piece of scrap. I put some Elmer's glue and I remove the excess glue. And I put the pattern paper on top. Do the same thing to the second one. Yeah. The secret with Elmer's is that, you know, don't over glue it, just remove the excess. So now we'll do two on the middle ones. Let's do one of these and one of these. think this is end of life on this marker. I think I actually opened a new one. Maybe I took the old one out. A mistake. I sure did. Here's the new one. Okay. Yeah, the other one is old already. Sometimes I put a little bit of turpentine in there to extend the life of it, but I use them a lot and I go through them like crazy. Okay. And we'll do 2 smaller ones. Even if I use cardstock that doesn't have a white middle or white core, or you know what I mean, like white edges, I still like to give it an edge. Another thing that you can do to pep it up is use glitter pens around, or even just regular glitter. You can dip it in glitter. You know, you can get creative. It's a lot of fun. Okay, and let's take this here. Okay. So just put a little bit in the middle, and then I spread it around. I have a professional spreader, and I can't believe I forgot to take it out. That's okay. Here we go. And the 2 little ones. Okay. Now I'm going to glue the 2 halves together. The nice thing about the Cricut machine when it cuts it, it's all nice and even. When I do it by hand, sometimes I miss out. But with the Cricut, it's really nice and even. Okay. And now I'm going to put the 2 halves onto the back of the one with the pattern. I want just a teeny bit more on this, teeny bit more glue, because this is watercolor paper, and it absorbs the moisture in the glue. So I don't want it too dry. I want it a little bit more wet, so it'll hold a little bit better. Okay, and pat it. Make sure that the edges are even. It will look like this. Okay. Okay. And then you put the other side of the bead on there. Oops. So you have a bead, you have a hole. You see the hole in there? Where you can put eye pins through, or fish wire, or whatever it is you want to use. You can put it right through. Okay. And now we're going to put some glue in the center and put the next size up. And let's put this one up, this one. Make sure it's nice and centered. I can put this one on top of this one right now. I'm going to let this dry for a minute because I don't want to flip it over and handle it too much. Otherwise, because it's still wet, I can move it around. I can move the pieces around on the glue. Okay, so I'm just going to let it sit for a minute. Okay, now you can see this will go on the top over here, this way. And I have the little tiny pieces that I cut out. That's the center. And I chose to do all of them in the same color because it's really not recommended to cut heavy material on Cricut in very, very small sizes. I chose to cut the little circles in regular paper, or you can use a light cardstock paper, but not the heavy one. So I have all these, and if you want to add another layer of thickness to it, you can. Just use, if you have a punch for a 1/4 inch. You see I have one. Here's my punch. Okay, here's my punch. It's a little one. And I usually will take a scrap if I have. And I have plenty since I cut them today. Here's one of the papers that I cut today. I'm going to just punch a couple out. And yes, I paint the edges on the little ones too. The project is always as clean as all the steps you make. It's the final touches that makes it really, really nice. If your edges are not clean, or have all kinds of steps that you just decide to skip, then your project will look like that too. So I don't skip. Oh, one more. Is that this one? Okay. Now, you can either choose to start a project and divide, or not divide, but so what I'm looking for. Make the plan for the color order and how you want the order to be as you go along. But I usually like to plan ahead. Um, I made cuts earlier from just regular primary colors so that it's very distinctive, and we'll try to put a picture of that as well so that if you have any questions you can follow that guide in accordance with what I have on Design Space, and you know exactly where to place them. Okay, so this is the bead. You can see this is how the finished bead will look like. Okay, I'm going to put this away for now. And I'm going to go get the other. Okay, here we go. Here we go. So I don't know if you can see, but this is basically how I operate. I have all the pieces that go on the bead together. Let me see, I'll take this out. Let me show you. I was ahead of myself before. I forgot to take them out. Okay, so this is what I do. I put it together. So in the Design Space, when I made the pattern, I'll show it to you again. Where's my tablet? Let me see if I can just show it to you again. Okay, here we go. On the canvas, you see over here, you have light green, dark green, blue. See all these colors? So all these colors here, I put together here. So you can see the black is black, the green is green, the blue is blue. It's all here. The only thing I didn't cut yet and I didn't place are the little ones, the little tiny ones, the 1/4 inch ones. These I think I will actually do with either black or white and put it in the center. I might just do it with white because I already have black in there. I think that would be really cool to just add the white ones. And those, I'm going to paint the actual white cardstock in black. So it'll have a thick border of black. This is it, and then you can put the beads together here, like 2, 2, 2, 2, that kind of thing. And we have some small beads. Those extra ones, all extra little ones, let me show you. Those extra little ones over here, those are for, you're going to do small beads. And for the small beads, you actually have those halves, the little tiny halves, and the little 1/4 inch circles. And there's just going to be one small bead with one color and one small one in the middle. That's it. And when you assemble the necklace, you're going to have these in between the bigger beads. Okay, you're going to have, let me see, I think I might be missing a couple of them. Looks like they fell or something. But I think you have 12 of those beads, and then just 2 of those, 12, 13, 14 of the small beads, and then you have 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 of the big beads. So it's kind of, when you assemble it, you kind of alternate. You do a big one, a small one, a big one, a small one, and it kind of gives it a little dimension. Okay, let me just show you the black one, how I do the color coding. I buy those broad markers at Staples. They're not expensive. You know, let's do, I don't know if I have the real big one cut yet. We don't have to do a big one. We'll do a smaller size one. Let's do these two, okay? Show it to you close so you see what I'm doing. And you do it quick, because if you hover over it, it might bleed into the paper. Make sure the right side is up when you're doing it. It's easier to control the upside. See, this is nice. You know, it really depends on the kind of paper you use, is how much it bleeds. This one bled a little bit more, makes a thicker line. It's kind of nice. Okay. And let's take. Can't answer the phone right now. Please take a message. Okay. And let's do 2 halves. I'm doing the edges a little bit at the ends, like this, on the straight side, just because when you put it in the bead, I don't know, sometimes through the hole, you might see a white. So I don't want to see a white there. I want it all covered. Sure, I did it all pretty good. Now, as far as closure, if you when you're making a necklace like that and you're doing a closure, um, if you know how to do jewelry and you're making necklace regularly, just do what you always do. Everybody likes different kind of closures. Um, I'll probably do a video and I'll show one of mine. Maybe I'll do a toggle clasp or lobster clasp. We'll see. But I'm not doing that just yet. I think what I'll do is I'm going to end this video and going to finish assembling all the beads, and then after I do all the beads and the beads are finished, I'll do a small video on actually putting the necklace together. And remember, it doesn't have to be a necklace. You can do bracelets, you can do earrings, you can do different things with it. I think my dogs are hungry too. They had a very late lunch because they didn't have a breakfast. They just didn't have any appetite this morning for some reason. It was such a beautiful day and they spent all morning outside playing, and they were so tired. They came back home, they took a nap, and then they got hungry. Okay. I am really enjoying how the Cricut cut all the circles so nice and even. It just makes it so easy. I spent most of the day just on the design space, seeing how I'm going to design the project. And it's my first project ever that I designed on Design Space. It's my first one. I've never done one. I've, I've put together like one image and one font just to see how things are put together, but I never cut it, never did anything like that. So this was quite a challenge. I had to figure out how to keep it together, because once, let's say, I put all the circles and I made all these, I counted and I was able to figure out how to make it the right size. It kept moving, and I wanted it to stay exactly on the same spot where I designed it on. That took me a while to figure out how to do, you know. And then once I figured out how to do it, I said, let me see if I can, you know, I didn't realize that I have to do a different color if I wanted to cut on a different paper or a different mat. So I actually have another design space designed for the same thing, the same project, but it also will cut you the 3x6 squares, not square, rectangles. And then after you cut them all together, then you put it on one board. You put 8 of them, 8 of the 3x6s on one 12x12 mat, and in one push of a button, it'll cut all of the colored, which I think this is what I will use, because to be honest, I don't know if it's necessary for me to spend all the time cutting 6x3 on Cricut. I really don't need to do that. I can just do, I can just do those by hand or on my paper cutter, and then put all 8 of them on one board. So I have another one that will do that. Okay. I just haven't tested it yet, honestly. I have to test it. Well, I sort of tested it. I cut those, but okay. So here's 2 sides of the bead here, and I'm going to punch out white ones. I want 2 white ones. My dogs are licking my feet right now, and I'm not enjoying it. Stop, please. Thank you. Okay, this is tricky because I'm going to have to do black around the white real quick, and I'm trying to do it as quick as possible, and it will never come out really nice and neat, and it's okay. It'll bleed a little bit on the paper, and that's okay because it's white and you can really see it, but it's kind of nice. I like that it bleeds a little bit in the center one. Okay, just a teeny bitty one. Here we go. Okay, we'll let it dry a little bit. So again, all the plan here for the beads on how to arrange your paper, I'm going to make a picture of it, and it'll be on the project also, just in case you need a plan. Okay, so that's it, I think, for this time. I'm going to wait until it's dry, and then I will glue this together. See how pretty this is? I like that the 2 sides are a little different. And I will get back to you soon. Let me see.